Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
National Championship edition of the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io, your one-stop shop for all things statistics. Create your own model for sports betting at a low, low price. StatFactory.io. And Rob, soak this in, because those who've been listening to this program know that you, Rob Kendall, are kind of like Rudy when he was younger in the movie. You're walking around with the Notre Dame jacket on in the summertime. All you talk about is Notre Dame football. You are a super fan. Your team is in the national championship. And listen, I remember what it's like when my team won it all. Enjoy it, because it sure as hell doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Bears fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan. An IU basketball fan. So you're right. It just never happens in anything for me. So this is it. All right. So I have a conundrum before we get to the picks, right? Because one of the things I mean, it's time to declare me one of the great boosters of Notre Dame football across this country, because as our longtime listeners to the show know, I have thought Notre Dame was going to cover the spread in each of the last 4 weeks. However, I have bet against Notre Dame because that's what I do to ensure their victory.
So you're the reverse jinx guy, meaning that you bet against the team that you actually want to win, because you're going to be satisfied one way or the other at the end of the game. Either your team will have the dub, or you'll put some money in your account.
And the amount of money I'd lose, I'd rather have my team have the W. And I've been honest with our audience. I said, look, if I were a neutral bettor, here's how I'd bet this.
Right. If you need any proof that we are not professional handicappers, it's old fanboy Rob over here, who's dressed like the damn leprechaun, knowing damn well Notre Dame was the right play in some of these games.
Oh, yeah.
Still betting against them because you're wearing the pajamas.
Swire Show's different. The Swire Show's popular because we bet like how real. This is real dudes do this stuff all the time, Hammer.
Right. We have professionals on this show, but they're not us.
That's right. So here's my conundrum. So every game so far, I've been able to, Notre Dame has been a favorite in some capacity. So whether it was Indiana, well, let's go all the way back to USC. USC, Indiana, Georgia, Penn State. They have been the favorite in the game when the show was airing. So I couldn't lose by taking, the other team was getting points. I literally couldn't lose. You take Notre Dame, or the team's getting the points. You can't. Notre Dame wins the game in some capacity, or I win the bet. I've done my part. The problem now is, not only is Notre Dame an underdog, they're a sizable underdog in this game. And so there's a real concern that I have, where the only way to ensure this works out for me is to take a money line bet. But the odds are so in favor of Ohio State, I'd have to bet a sizable amount of money to make anything decent. So do I, Hammer, bet $100 on Notre Dame to win the national championship, or on Ohio State to win at minus 365. That way, either Notre Dame's going to win, but if they win, it's going to cost me $100.
Will you be happy losing $100? Because I know you. You're the cheapest man alive. And when I say the cheapest man alive, I mean, it's not an understatement. I've been to casinos with you. I've been out to bars. I've been out to dinners. I've seen the way you bet sports. You're a miser. Like, it would crush you, I think, to lose $100.
But the last thing I've rooted for that won was the Cubs in 2016. So that was 9 years ago. I'm 9 years since I've had any winning. The last time Notre Dame won a national championship was 1988. That's 36 years ago. So, I mean, yes, I would be miserable to lose $100. Now, the payout would be like 27 if I won, because Ohio State's like minus 365, depends on your site. But you're right. I'm so cheap.
So is blowing $100 worth Notre Dame winning a championship to you? Would you pay $100 for a guarantee that Notre Dame would win? Because that's what you have to ask yourself when you're doing this kind of bet as a fanboy.
Yeah, It's so hard because I'm so stingy. I don't know. It's what's weighing on me right now.
All right. Well, let's think about this objectively here, okay? Put the leprechaun costume away. Now, you mentioned earlier a key phrase, depending on where you make this bet. At the time of this podcast here, again, we do this on Tuesday at noon. This line, Rob, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
It opened up, I believe, around 10, 9.5, 10. This morning, it was 8 in some spots, and now it's climbing back up in others. Depending on which sports betting app you use, and again, we are not wed to a single app on this program, there could be a difference between a full point to a 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, this is where Stat Factory comes in, our fabulous sponsor, statfactory.io. When you sign up for that subscription, you're going to get all the major sports betting websites at the same time right at your fingertips. So you're going to be able to compare these websites. And in the case of this Notre Dame game, there's literally a 1.5 difference. I see it as high as 9.5. And I see it as low as 8 as the spread. So depending on where you'd want to go.
So where's the 8 at right now?
Man, it's all over the place. So you got, what do you got? You got BetUS, you got Bovada, ESPN Bet,
okay,
Hard Rock, Caesars, all -8.
Okay, so like ESPN, Caesars, they're looking at 8. I see Bet Rivers up to 9.5.
Yeah.
And is it the same number here, -110 on a spread?
Yeah, they're all -110, other than FanDuel. FanDuel's got it at 8.5 at -106. Well, when you're betting 7 cents like me, that doesn't really make any difference, right?
Right. Now, as for the total here, again, the bigger number, Bet Rivers, I'm looking at 45.5.
Yeah, hang on here. Let me update my, and see, this is another great thing about StatFactory.io. You can change this almost instantaneously. Yeah, so I mean, there's a huge swing depending on what you want to do here. So totals, I see it at 45.5.
Yes.
And I see it as high as 46.5.
Oh, okay. So it's higher in some spots.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, 45.5, if you're looking at it over, is your number that you're probably the best you're going to be able to find right now. But 46, see, this is where, I mean, and how many times have we cued the Hughes screwing me now music when somebody loses on the hook
or by a point? This is important here. All right. So what we're going to do is focus on this game. We're each going to make a pick against the spread. We're each going to make a pick on the total and then a prop bet of some kind. So damn the torpedoes. Here we go. The national championship game. Rob Kendall, Ohio State, Notre Dame. The line, depending on where you look, anywhere from 9.5 to 8. What say you?
Well, I'm going to take it at 8 because I'm going to take Ohio State to cover. Now, I'm not doing this like a Notre Dame homer here because I'm going to do that bet probably as the homer, Ohio State on the money line. That way I can't lose because the problem is I get trapped on this, right? Notre Dame could lose this game by 5 points.
Right.
That's the worst world for
you
me.
get that backdoor garbage touchdown in the fourth quarter.
They still lose the game, but I lose the bet. Right. This is the trap I'm in. That's why I got to do money line Ohio State if I'm going to bet to ensure that. Do you think so? I'd be $120 in if I bet $100. If I bet $100, does that get me a statue somewhere? Is that like a plaque in the stadium for what I did to ensure?
Have you seen the boosters to Notre Dame? Have you been to a game? Those aren't football fans. Those are business owners, Rob.
It's like a brick, like one of those little bricks with my name on it.
I don't even think they put your name on the menu where Rudy went and got beers.
I'm in Ohio State laying the 8. Look, it's been a great run for Notre Dame, and I get that Ohio State is kind of the recency bias that we talk about a lot, but they just got so many receivers. And Notre Dame, they play good, as we talked about, with physical teams, right? Georgia was a big physical team. They were able to hold with them. Penn State was a big physical team. They were able to hold with them. But, man, Ohio State has so much speed. I don't know how Notre Dame hangs with that speed.
I'm with you. I'm with you on Ohio State. And again, because this number is all over the place, here's what I'm going to do to optimize money. I'm going to find the site where it's -8. And you said earlier that was FanDuel, Caesars, I believe.
No, you got, let's see, you got right now, you got ESPN Bet, you got Hard Rock, See, this thing just keeps moving in real time. ESPN Bet Online. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of them that have it.
Okay, I am going to find a place where I can get that 8, and I'm going to buy it up to 9. I'm going to buy it a point to 9
Ooh.
because I think if you're willing to lay 8, you're probably willing to lay 9. 9.5 starts to scare me a little bit because that's 10. But if I can buy a point and start eliminating some of that house juice, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to find the site that has -8. I'm going to buy it up to 9. I'm not going to take it at 9 at any other site where that's the listed line because I am trying to optimize the money. I think this game being on turf in New Orleans, dome, fast track, that is going to be the perfect situation for these Ohio State receivers. I know Notre Dame's defense is good. They've been pretty good in the pass game. But do we really think Ohio State's offense is not going to look sharp 2 games in a row?
Here's the thing, though. Texas. By the way, why do teams run pitches at the 1-yard line?
Don't get me started on shotgun at the inch line. Don't get me started on that. Old man yelling at cloud. I know that's who I am. But if you've got an inch to go, a yard to go, get out of shotgun!
Yeah, you have Arch Manning, who is a run machine, and you've got 1st and goal from the 1 if you're Texas, and those were the plays that you ran. Like, just sneak the ball 4 times. You can move, even if you moved a quarter of a yard each time, you would be in the end zone eventually. Have some guys, push him from behind. So Texas should have tied that game. Should have been a tied game. We should have gone overtime, or maybe Ohio State goes there, kicks a field goal to win it. It should have been a 14-point game. I think Notre Dame could beat. This is what I struggle with. I think Notre Dame could have beat Texas,
but Notre Dame should have lost to Penn State. I mean, if we're going to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game,
that's true.
I mean, Penn State's incompetence inside the red zone.
Big game James
doing big game things.
That's a good point.
Drew Aller just looking like ass anytime there's a legitimate defense in front of him.
Yeah, you can't spell Aller without ass.
Well, I think you can, but I get the point. So, yeah, I can't play the hypothetical game here. All I can do is look at who's got dudes, right? There's a difference between players and dudes. Those wide receivers for Ohio State, they're going to be playing on Sunday, dudes. And I'll take dudes on a fast track. We're both on Ohio State here.
Yeah.
Covering at least 8.
Yeah, and I don't know this for sure, obviously. And the problem is we got a week before the game. Who knows, or 6 days before the game as we're putting this together. But I don't see this going down under 8. I don't see I see it moving in Ohio State's, and like if you were to bet Ohio State. So this is one thing I would tell our audience. At Rob M. Kendall, at Jason Allen Hammer on Twitter, and then the Degenerates Next Door podcast Twitter page. Check that, because we could change our mind between now and then. Like if something crazy happens.
Right. Somebody gets busted with a hooker.
Yeah.
Somebody, has, something happen, a flu outbreak, locusts.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But there's a long time between now and kickoff.
Yeah, so we'll do the post Monday. How about we do that? We'll do these picks today as they stand, and then we'll do the picks Monday day of game in case lines have moved or whatever.
On the social media handle.
That's right.
Look for Degenerates Next Door. All right, let's take a little break here, take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to look at this total. Again, Ohio State, Notre Dame, national championship game. Over, under, we'll break it down next. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. Again, sign up for that free preview that Stat Factory is doing right now. You always hear these sports gambling gurus go, the computer model says this, the model says this. This is the model. You can customize your own betting model. Find the stats that work best for you, and if you have success, keep riding the lightning. StatFactory.io. They put all the stats right there for you. You can see all of the betting lines on all of the sites, the totals, the spreads, all of it right there. And coming soon, the AI feature where you can put in information and the hot AI chick with massive cans tells you what she thinks of your bet. So sign up for the free preview right now, StatFactory.io. All right, Rob, Notre Dame, Ohio State, depending on where you look, anywhere from 46 to 45.5. I'm going to make it 45.5 here, over under.
Yeah, I'm going over, and you and I talked, and I just hate this because I feel like I'm going to just destroy all your bets because we're the same on these. But okay, so if it's 45.5, 28-7, here's the problem. 28-17 doesn't get you there. So do you think, and I think Notre Dame is going to struggle to score more than 17 points against Ohio State. I just think it's going to be a rough, tough sledding for them. Do you think Ohio State can get more than 28 points?
I do. I think Ohio State is good for at least 28. And I'm going over. This is why I'm going over. In my mind, this game feels like 30-17.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. 30-17. I think it might be close maybe early on. We'll see. I know Ohio State likes to jump out on people, and Notre Dame's been a little slow early on. But national championship game, maybe they're kind of feeling each other out a little bit early on. But I think when it's all said and done, I like the over here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Notre Dame can score. I mean, they've proven they can bust some big plays. Ohio State's not invincible defensively. They're pretty darn good, but they're not invincible. Maybe Notre Dame can force a... Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can get to. And here's the thing. Like, if by some chance this game is close, anytime you get to overtime, the rules are so much different in college than pro. You're almost a guaranteed over hit if you get to overtime. So you have that in your back pocket too. I'm sorry. I'll go with you. I look forward to a 13-10 affair.
Right. And I hate the fact that we're both on the same game so far. We both have the Buckeyes covering. We both have the over in this game. So if I were you, bet the mortgage on Notre Dame and the under. Let's see what our professional thinks about this total. David Stefanoff, followneverfade.com. He has been our college football handicapper all season long. He's the pro. David, Notre Dame, Ohio State, where is your money?
Well, first off, thank you, Hammer. Thank you, Rob, and hello to fellow degenerates out there. It's coming down Notre Dame, Ohio State here. This spread has opened up at 10 some places, guys, and dropped all the way down to 8 I seen this morning. I do like the total here. I think regardless, you got two good quarterbacks. You got two good running backs. You got a bunch of receivers on both sides. Notre Dame receivers are starting to play a little better. They're throwing the ball because they have to. I know both defenses are kind of banged up. Guys, I'm liking the over 45 here, guys. I think this is a low number. I think it's too low. I think one of these teams, maybe Ohio State's offense probably could put up 30 if Notre Dame's defense don't show up. The side's too hard for me, guys. I know both you guys on Ohio State. I don't know yet. I just think that the coaching staffs they're going to be so prepared. One mistake cost these guys the games. And I think the offensive-wise, they got too much talent on both sides of the offense. I love this game to go over 45.
Over 45 is the play for David Stefanoff, a follow, never fade. Now, with college football coming to an end, that means we are all systems go on college basketball, the NBA. We got a little racing, little golf coming down the pipeline here. If somebody wants to get your picks for anything sports betting related, where can they go?
Hey, Hammer, thank you again. FollowNeverFade.com. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I'm easy to find every single day. Message me directly on any of those platforms, guys. We put up free plays every day, usually free video on all those platforms. You can follow me. We put some plays out. We win way more than we lose. Right now, college basketball season is in mid-form. I'm going to tell you guys right now, don't sleep. Do not sleep on the Duke Blue Devils. Cooper Flagg, if it wasn't middle of football season, everybody be going crazy about Cooper Flagg. Put some money on Duke to win the national championship. But college basketball, and now Hammer knows I love my tennis. Australian Open's going right now with football winding down. We're focusing on college basketball and the Australian Open this time. But, hey, we're on all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Have a great week. Thank you for a great season. To my fellow degenerates, let's hope keeping it going. I like the over 45 today, or over 45 in the national championship game. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you, Rob. But don't forget to follow Never Fade.
All right, so Rob, I'm starting to get a little freaked out here. We're agreeing too much. Everybody seems to be agreeing too much. And you know me, the superstitious nerd that I am. When I see a game that people are picking on television and everybody's on the same side, I rush to bet the other side. And right now, we're those people, and I hate that.
Yeah.
All right, take one more time out here. But when we come back, we've got a prop bet to make in this game. The national championship game, the Buckeyes, the Fighting Irish. We'll talk about a prop bet to make next. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. All right, Rob, give me another bet to make. We've made bets on the spread. We've made bets on the total. Now you've got carte blanche. Find something else.
All right, so I got it down to 2, and I'm going to let you walk me through it. All right, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so one of them, and I hate this because I know you're maybe in on this too, is the Ohio State team total of 27.5 total team points.
Yes.
The other one is Ohio State is a 4.5 first point favorite.
First half.
First half favorite. And you're right. Notre Dame is a little slow out of the gate. Ohio State kind of likes to pounce on people. But the thing I hate about first half only bets is the bet's over after the first half. Like I'm buying, you know my theory on sports betting, I'm buying hours of entertainment.
Right.
And I'm only then buying half of the entertainment.
How do you feel about Notre Dame's team total at 17.5?
Yeah, see, I'm tempted to go under on this because I don't think Notre Dame is going to score a lot of points. But then if I do that, then I got to think Ohio State's going to get to 31 points basically to win my other bet. See, this is where it's like Seinfeld, worlds are colliding.
Right. And with such a low total like 17.5, though, you could get a pick six.
That's right.
You could get a kick return,
right.
Punt return, because Notre Dame is good on special teams. So is Ohio State. So pick one, kid. Where you hanging your hat?
If Ohio State doesn't win the first half by 4.5 points, then I got a ball game in the second half.
Okay.
So I will have essentially bought myself some entertainment to the second half, or I win the bet. I'll take Ohio State 4.5 first half favorite.
Okay, now in the second half, it's also Ohio State minus 4.5, Notre Dame plus 4.5, just the second half.
Yeah, but that's game could be over at
right.
halftime.
And it comes down to garbage time and backups.
If I'm reverse jinxing myself here, I'm buying. This is me boosting the program. I'm buying myself into the second half.
Total successful field goals over under 2.5. If you're willing to go over.
In the
3 made field goals in the game. You get plus money at plus 114.
They got to make 3 field goals the whole game?
Combined teams, yes.
That's it?
Yes. Now, Notre Dame's kicker's been on a bit of a heater, but he was asked through most of the year. Buckeyes usually go for it on fourth down. They score a lot of touchdowns.
How many times have we been through this? Like, I can't believe the odds are that much in our favor. And then, like, there's a reason these people have great big buildings and we live where we live, right?
I'm just saying, if you think 3 field goals will be successfully made in this game, you can get plus money at Bet Rivers at plus 114.
Woo! Boy, and this is where you got to come back to our Twitter feed because we're doing this a week in advance, which you would never, unless you think you're just getting a great deal on something. So I'm going to hold on to that one too. But right now I'll say Ohio State minus 4.5 first half.
All right. Like you said, I'm on the Buckeyes. I think they win. In my mind, this is a 30-17 game. 31-17 game. That means that's over 27.5 team points for the Buckeyes. I am over 27.5 points team total for Ohio State. I think if Notre Dame gets down early or gets down multiple scores at any point in this game and they have to abandon the running game, Riley Leonard's going to throw a pick. Now, maybe I'll look at a Riley Leonard interception prop here, but I love the Buckeyes team total over 27.5. And really, it's not worth the juice. I'm looking at Riley Leonard over 0.5 interceptions minus 200. That's too much juice for me. So I'm out on that, but I am over the Buckeyes team total. All right. We are going to reset our picks for the national championship game. Rob, give us your plays.
All right, as of right now, again, we encourage you to check out at Rob M. Kendall, at Jason Allen Hammer on Twitter, also the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast. We'll have updates on this. Right now, I'm at Ohio State minus 8, over 45.5, and Ohio State to win the first half by 4.5 points.
I, Jason Allen Hammer, am also on Ohio State. I am going to find the site that has minus 8, and I'm going to buy it up to 9 to get a better number. I want more of a payout. I'm a greedy bastard. So I am going to the site. ESPN Bet was one of them. Not a big fan of that, but if it means I can get more money, I'll put a little bit in. I'm going to find minus 8, buy it up to 9. I am on the over in the game. Fast track with those Ohio State dudes at receiver. And my prop bet is Ohio State team total over 27.5. All right, we will be posting stuff on social media. Make sure you guys interact with us. We kind of live off the phones with the jobs that we have, so it's fun to kind of go back and forth with you guys. Find us, The Degenerates Next Door on Twitter. The profile picture is like a little cartoon version of Rob and I. For David Stefanoff of FollowItNeverFade.com, for Rob Kendall, I'm Jason Hammer. Keep checking back on social media, but if we don't talk until then, have fun watching the national championship game. We will pick NFL playoff games this Thursday, and as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.